Spring is finally here, people. Get your college friends from Michigan together, head to a cabin in Tennessee to party and make a gory as hell horror film. Or if you want to save on effects budget, make a zany comedy or something. With the latest film, Evil Dead Rise, coming to theaters soon, I can't believe it's taken this long to talk about the first Evil Dead film, especially after you can see the poster for it in some of my earliest episodes. Maybe it is convenient for me to do it now, though. I also spotlighted in the 1983 in film episode I'm working on, so I can just leave the 1983 posters up, even if the movie wasn't made in '83 and had a few screenings beforehand, too. The Evil Dead is the debut of star Bruce Campbell, director Sam Raimi, and also the 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88. And it's an inspiring story of independent filmmaking in and of itself. The full-length movie comes after their 1978 proof-of-concept film, Within the Woods, which also starred Campbell and Ellen Sandweiss, who plays Cheryl in the film. The short was produced for $1,600, and through a long time of cold calls, seeking investors, borrowing money from family and friends, The Evil Dead ended up costing around $375,000. Running out of money sometimes during the making of it. It would get its first screening, though, at the Redford Theater in Detroit in '81, which attracted distributor Irvin Shapiro, who also distributed movies like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Night of the Living Dead. It was him who suggested changing the title, as the original title was The Book of the Dead, as he was fearful the kids don't want to read. Damn right, I still haven't seen The Jungle Book, and I never will. In '82, the film got screened at the Cannes Film Festival, which had Stephen King in attendance, who loved the film, became a huge supporter of it, and his quote would even attract a lot of people to watch it. So hell yeah, it was a big hit on video after its main theatrical release in '83. And I know I would have contributed a lot to those rentals. I know one summer in particular feels like we rented this about every weekend. You can really marvel at the filmmaking here from the very beginning, with shots like this achieved from Raimi going from land to being pushed onto a dinghy. Not to mention the original soundtrack it has.
Been gone 6 months and I got the fear.
She's been doing this for 4 hours. For the love of God, someone put in my Elvis Costello cassette. I put it right there on the dashboard. It's gonna be very easy to get lost. The only map he brought with them was the one from their Six Flags trip, so they can find their way to Thunder River if need be. They are getting close to the bumper cars. Goddamn coyotes! Isn't anyone concerned about the safety of the steering wheel? There's Raimi and producer Rob Tapert right there, ask them. Later on in Latin, you can hear the tape say Sam and Rob are the hikers on the road. Scotty has the mood right. He's already drinking some moonshine out of a mason jar. He's played by Richard Domanicore, under the pseudonym Hal Delrich as a combination of his first name and his roommates Hal and Del. This is a true college student getaway, finding the cheapest place they could find.
And the best part is we get it so cheap.
Yeah, why are we getting it so cheap?
Because of the Deadites. If they don't get killed on their way there. If only they died on the bridge, their fight with the dead could have been a lot more lighthearted. They'll get there faster if they just make their own road. Follow the sounds of the porch swings. If there's one thing they hate, it's ghosts sitting on the porch swing, sipping on their own glasses of moonshine. Cowards! Oh, well, that's a relief, so that thing won't be keeping us up all hours of the night. This cabin is where the crew members stayed too, so behind the scenes, it was a very different type of horror film, and a survival film at that, as living conditions were so poor and the weather so cold, some would get ill, then they'd even have to throw furniture on the fire to stay warm. They all seem happy though.
Come on. Hey!
Hey! Hey!
Gonna need that stuff to throw on the fire later, fellas. At least the serial killer who normally stays here is off at a cross-country barbecue competition. So the rusted blood sharp weaponry will go unused this weekend. And I'm not entirely sure that drawing the clock will make time go any faster. Good. It actually makes it easier to draw if you stop, especially with all these distractions going on outside. That's just the local Morristown, Tennessee art community. They've even possessed her hand to draw something sinister. Ah, yes. Get this, to makeup and stop motion creator Tom Sullivan. He also designed the Book of the Dead in the film. This will be perfect. Once the cast gets done making the fake blood for the movie, this movie is a strong lesson on if you hear something sinister, don't investigate it. Don't go near that! It let the horror movie music out! I'd understand you going near it if it did this. See, that means you're in Porky's Revenge. Scotty is often perplexed by a lot here.
An animal? That is the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
Right, and what's the noise outside? The trees? Or do you think you are? Indoor? That shit ain't real. In reality, the cabin didn't have a cellar, so a lot of the cellar shots would either be Rob Tapert's family farmhouse or Sam Raimi's garage, while in the cabin they'd dig a little hole and place an opening in the floor. And will someone upstairs turn the damn water off? Ash is so inexperienced here because the sounds of the door are putting him on edge. Ash had a bit more anxiety in the days when he had both of his hands. Also, clear all the books from the shelves, too. You can leave the Necronomicon, that's fine. And if need be, the poster for The Hills Have Eyes. And something for the bear outside. There are no deadites. It's just Scotty being a dick. Holy crap, it's Henry Jones's Hell Diary. Go upstairs and show this to Cheryl for inspiration. This puts all of her clock drawings to shame. Seriously, they have fun here.
This kind of looks like your old girlfriend.
Oh yeah? Well, your mama. Now the real party can begin.
This guy was a real turd.
Like you.
Yeah, that's great. Is anyone going to acknowledge the tree on fire outside? They did try this scene with all the actors smoking pot, but it had to be shot again due to the zaniness and unruliness that it caused. Now I kinda want to see that version of The Evil Dead, where they're not listening to too much of Raymond Noby's tape, which resurrects the demons, because they're too busy singing Louie Louie in Latin.
Hey, what'd you do that for? It's just getting good.
We were about to get to the part where he goes back to the medieval ages. She's upset because they just put the tree out, and now the fire is gonna get out of control again.
Shut it off!
Okay, fine, we'll put on hardcore. What's the worst that could happen? On the downside, it's gonna get way colder in here. On the plus side, throw that branch on the fire. Let's take a little break as Ash and Linda have their alone time, where he pitches her his business idea of selling tiny magnifying glasses.
Note, although surrounded by deadly snakes, I'm protected by the all-new, all-hit 96 WHYT FM. Karma, 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 karma.
96 WHYT, all new, all hit.
We are back, people. You know, you could just say you're not in the mood. She's terrified that his gift is once again gonna be Elvis Costello tickets. We get it, Ash, you're a fan. See, honey, now when we start fires, it'll be really, really small and we can contain it better. I joke, but sometime in the years after the movie, the cabin actually was destroyed by a fire, and the only thing that remains is the fireplace. There is still the ghost of Bluto going from window to window to watch them change clothes and swipe their Jack Daniels, or both. And if you hear something sinister going on outside, you know what to do. What? Not that. Just go to sleep. I am determined to go deeper and deeper into these woods until I find my answer as to what was making noise outside the window. Good lord, even if you do find an answer, it won't be good for you. It'll be some hungry animal or a homeless man beating off by the trees. And you know what happens when you beat off on the trees. It's the one thing that brings them to life. Let's see how much of this scene I can show before cutting to the next scene. You see, folks, this is why you always need to bring some garden shears with you no matter where you go. I remember one time I went camping and... Anyway, now to cut to the next scene. By God, Cheryl, what happened? It's the woods, Ash. They committed treason. Yeah, okay, very funny. Let's get you to bed. Although I like the noise the Deadites make when the door slams in their face. That's the most annoyed I've ever heard demons. They've been peeping Toms for centuries now. They're bored with it. They just want inside. Understandably, Cheryl wants to get the hell out of there. They have a compromise, though. Instead of them driving all the way to town, she can stay over at the hiker's place. Whew, I thought they would never leave. Come on, ladies. Let's really give these demons something to watch. That is, if the two do leave.
I know it's not gonna start. It's not gonna let us leave.
Yeah, it's not that much of a slasher film. They need to get better at communicating. Probably should have told her exactly why he was stopping and leaving the car. And God damn it, stop going extremely deep into the woods to investigate things! Too soon. Even though you can shout stuff like that at the screen when watching it, it's the sound, score, and cinematography that really keeps you engaged. It's great camera work from Tom Philo, plus Joel Cohen was an assistant editor on it. Oh, and the gore effects too. They set up for that here where the tape says you have to destroy the demons through bodily dismemberment.
Oh my God, 7 of hearts, you're right.
I guessed the card right.
Yeah, truly amazing.
He's gonna resort to bodily dismemberment long before anyone is possessed. And speaking of which...
2 spades, jack of diamonds, jack of clubs!
Alright, time to move this vacation to Vegas! No one will notice. There's always a cocktail waitress there who looks a little like this and then passes out. Guys, what happened? Did she get drunk on too much wine again? What? I just came up with that outside! When I was a kid, this sequence sealed it at the time that this was one of the scariest movies in the world to me. And even whenever I watch it as an adult, it's still freaking ruthless and intense as hell. It builds up such goodwill and the tone is so bleak that even when you notice a dummy head being shoved into the cellar, it works. Alright, you just be good down there. Watch The Hills Have Eyes or something. And if you're good, we'll toss you a VHS of Last House on the Left through the door. This was one of my favorite VHSs too. The grittiness and grain to the tape added to the atmosphere, to where I was disappointed when I got the remastered DVD, where it was distracting that it was so clear looking you could see the superimposed square outline around the moon. Now they do what every bored college student does, the movie quote game.
For God's sake, what happened to her eyes?
Rosemary's Baby. Wait, I got one too. I'm very good at this game. Poltergeist! Everyone knows that. Great, now Scotty has to tend to this noise too. Can I get some help in looking around here, people? This whole bedroom is like a maze! As many bad things are going on here, at least they haven't run out of toilet paper yet. Unfortunately, it's another night where the others have to listen to Scotty and Shelly have sex. They're kind of into the whole scratching thing. It's a good thing the fireplace survived. She hasn't said the safe word yet.
I don't know what I would have done if I had remained on those hot coals.
Honey, can we just use a little candle wax? You're losing your looks. The biggest obstacle Ash has gone through is breaking free from the bookshelf. Time portals and severed hands are nothing compared to this wooden beast. What else can I show? Okay, I can show this. Best just leave it on Ash's reaction as she bites her own hand off. That's when you know it's a video nasty, when you review the film and just leave it on the reactions. And Ash has some excellent reactions here. It's the same look he gave when she spread mayonnaise on her pizza. He is in a conundrum. Do I hit her with the axe, or will Scotty hold this over me for the rest of our lives? That does it for the girls, I guess. Bro, you know what this means. Place to ourselves. Get the Atari from the truck and the 6-pack of Billy beer. Really, in the first film, it starts out like Scotty's gonna be the hero. When they settled on an Atari night, he will do whatever he can to make sure it's still a bros night. The movie keeps the blood flowing, as it was the advice of Raimi and Campbell's friend Andy Granger to always keep it flowing. And really, the movie is all about friendship.
You can't bury Shelley. She's a friend of ours.
Ah, she's dead.
Okay, fine. Since she's one of our friends, we can use the good sheets. The ones we got from that nice man over on 42nd Street. It is the more respectful thing to do. They could have just thrown them in the cellar and let the next visitors of the cabin deal with it. But now they have a chance of entering heaven. Though there is still the matter of Linda's leg.
Well, then we'll leave her here. Until we can send somebody back.
What are you, crazy?
Without a television that doesn't even get public access, and she'll have to listen to the Deadites stand up all night?
And then who will lock you up in the cellar?
Someone toss her a goddamn Tiger game. With no medical care, that ankle is gonna get way worse, way fast. I blame the microchips in the Band-Aids. Let's get out of here so he can be on his way to kill the people who recommended this cabin for a good vacation spot. Will you look at this? No one is safe here. Scotty got his ass handed to him, possibly by the bikers who were trying to steal their gasoline. And sure, sometimes the acting can definitely show the movie's budget, but...
You're not gonna leave me here, are you? Are you, Ash?
You don't have to resort to mocking. Here is when Ash gets into hero mode, just from sheer annoyance of all the laughing and telling them to shut up! He's gonna have to buy her a second magnifying glass necklace now, unless something good happens.
Oh, Ash, help me, please.
Check that. Make it 0 new necklaces! I'm kidding. Okay, we can give it another shot, honey. Just no one else get any ideas.
Ash, help me. Let me out of here. I'm all right now.
It's the echo in the voice that means she's telling the truth. Even possibly still possessed Linda is like, nah, I'm calling bullshit on this. No, what are you doing? Great, you finally had a worse idea than when Cheryl walked outside to investigate the woods. Just play it cool. You keep that up and he's gonna believe you less and less that you're fine. But again, damn, the camera work and genuinely creepy moments still make it work.
We're gonna get you.
That does it! Taking you outside! Some of the movie's crew members got lost trying to find the place, so maybe this foul creature will get lost too. Now I can take care of my friend. Here you go, Scotty. We're gonna get you back on your feet. You love this. It's vinegar. His bedside manner could use some work, like when he remembers Shelley was chopped up into bits and isn't coming back.
Linda, Shelley? No, not Shelley, she...
I still gotta keep it real. Tired of breaking all the windows in the place, the Deadites are just back inside now. They know how to properly use those weapons. Every expert will tell you to always hold the knife by the blade. Again, it's Ash's reactions that are the main thing we can show. I still think I can manage to explain this to the police. And if he gets away, he could get a discount on the cabin. The place has rats, and it better not be graphic. Save it for the sequel. See, he spent a lot of money on that necklace. No need to ruin it by chainsaw. He can take it back to the K's merchandise and get his money back. Giving her a proper burial is what she would have wanted too. Though it is very late at night, Ash is awfully tired. Perhaps just sprinkling some dirt over her in a shallow grave will do the trick. He can just say he's distracted from the eerie shots of her going from the demonic makeup to no demonic makeup. Let's take a break so he can say a silent prayer.
Of course, the Tempo has front-wheel drive with rack and pinion steering to help deliver a more positive road feel and quick response.
And while the data is being evaluated by the computer, Tommy and I are going to stay with you and wait for the decision.
We're back, people. Just as I figured, sprinkling dirt on her didn't work. Neither will hitting her in the head with a railroad tie, even if it's been hollowed out by termites, making it surprisingly light. Especially when a good shovel decapitation will do. And he does what he should have already done. Let them play outside till they tire themselves out. Daddy needs a nap. Well, that's just great. Is that why there's a bigger draft in here? Better not have done anything to the Hills Have Eyes poster. You know how much that'll go for on eBay? Many of them don't even try hiding anymore. This is one hell of a brutal climax. Really a one-man show with Bruce Campbell, who, yeah, you can see doesn't have a ton of acting experience under his belt at this point, but already is great at the physical performance, and his reactions get better too in the climax. Where you really feel for this guy being chased around this cabin, and he is stressed the hell out about it with his mind going a mile a minute. Everything this dude's already gone through. He may not have any of the iconic lines or smarm he'd have in the sequels, but you're still rooting for him, between the Deadites trying to kill him and messing with him like a demonic Home Alone, like pipes spraying blood on his face. Some of this is creepier than in an Amityville film, and you wonder, how did they do a lot of this? Plus the old-timey music is there, so you know it's either a horror film or your grandparent is sitting in a rocking chair playing one of their favorite tunes and dies. Little things about the editing here just add to it too, like playing lines from earlier in the film. And even though this is the least comedic out of the three, there is still a sense of humor, like the first aid in the pool of blood, and he is still not going to be able to sleep with that loud-ass clock. In 1984, A Nightmare on Elm Street would show some thanks for the Hills poster by having Nancy watch The Evil Dead. And no joke, I saw Nightmare on Elm Street before I saw The Evil Dead, so when this happens in the movie, I was like, oh, that's what that's from. Nancy was watching this like, well, maybe all these sounds will keep me awake too. Already there's some Raimi staples, like never ever trusting what's in a mirror. Campbell does stress and fear so well here, I'm beginning to think it's really just the living quarters inside the cabin that just made all of the cast and crew members on edge like this. The film was shot in the winter of 79 to 80, so at one point there are a lot of stand-ins doubling for the actors, after it's just Bruce Campbell who hasn't been possessed. This is for what you said about my ex-girlfriend looking like the handle of a knife, you son of a bitch! Ash, no, it's a fake shimp! Must pick and choose what to show in this sequence. They're throwing the Book of the Dead on the fire. We know the book is gonna survive. They have to make a DVD out of it. He's got a plan. Wait till the sun comes up to use the magnifying glass to light it on fire. Oh wait, here, this'll be quicker. She just remembered she has a research paper due on Monday. And an appointment with her chiropractor too. I love all three of these movies, but this was the one I watched the most. Just from an independent filmmaking standpoint, these sequences, like the stop-motion effects, still wildly hold up today, and are a lot better than some of the horror films I see in theaters now. There continues to be shots in this film where, again, I'm like, I also don't know how they did this. At least the floor now matches what it looks like inside of the fridge. Even the 2013 remake, which I like, but I don't love, is still good at being a gore show, and just being a fan of the franchise anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what gory surprises they have in the future. Even if there is something missing when you don't have Ash as the lead. Who else can go on their porch in the morning, covered in blood, yet looking like a coffee commercial? Or reacting to bad luck like this. He'll be back in the second, possibly still doing the Charleston. And that's The Evil Dead, a movie that gives Night of the Living Dead some competition on how many times it was released on DVD. It's scary, it's unapologetically brutal, it's got tremendous physical performances, effects work still inspiring to this day, and a great start to a franchise that continues to go strong. And be sure to check out our new video podcast series featuring some stories, movie reviews, and bringing back the Talks Box so we can have some Patreon poll choices for the next episode. See you next time.
Oh, you bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?